I have a GE profile oven. I'm getting the error code F0, or FO. Online research tells me it has something to do with the controller for the oven. The top burners work fine. If I cycle power to the oven, the error goes away for a short time and then reappears even if I did not try to use the oven. I have not been able to find instructions online on how to replace the controller. So I suppose my questions are: is this a common error for this oven, and is the controller something that a relatively mechanically inclined, electrical, engineer could replace if I buy a replacement controller online? Can you point me to somewhere online that may have instruction on how to replace this? Thanks. Hi, the error code means a button on the touchpad is shorted or the control board is bad. They are fairly easy to replace, but you will first need to determine if the touchpad or control is bad. If the touchpad is built into the control board, then both will need to be replaced. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Once I get the error, the touchpad is unresponsive. If I cycle power to the oven and the error goes away, the touchpad is functional, until some time passes and I get the F0 error again. Does this indicate the controller is bad? If this is not an indication of a bad controller, is there something I can do to determine controller or touchpad? Can you give me the model number? Will help me figure this problem for you.
I have them all here. It says JSP57JS968JD968 on the cover. I assume those are model numbers. And I have one of them. I see no model number on the stove. I just hit the clear/off button and it cleared the error code. I am sure it will return, but apparently the touchpad is completely unresponsive as I mentioned earlier.
Is this a range or a wall oven? To get the correct model number, if this is a range, the model number will be on a sticker to the left or right inside the drawer.
Range. I believe. 4 burns on top. Convection underneath. Is that a range? Range. I believe. 4 burns on top. Convection underneath. Is that a range? Okay. Wait, you mention a drawer. There is no drawer. So maybe it is a wall oven. It's not one of those ovens that is built into a wall. I feel silly. Easy question. And am not sure. Wait. I'm going to go look to see if there is a drawer below the oven. The manual I have is here. Attachment 2012-01-19-224450-oven_manual.pdf. Okay. More info. No drawer under the oven. Labin inside of the oven door reads, Model JD968T0F1WW, might be TOF1, SNAF425539Q.
Okay, give me a minute to look that up. Smile. Okay, the touchpad is separate to the control on this one. This is how you figure out if the touchpad or the control is bad. Access the control panel, then pull the ribbon cable out of the control for the touchpad. Then turn the power back on and wait an hour. If F0 comes back, then the control is bad. If F0 does not come back, then the touchpad is bad and will need to be replaced. Mike.
Okay, makes sense. Any guidance on how to access the control panel? And I know this is completely subjective, but is it a repair a reasonable adept person could make, or is a definite repairman repair? Okay, makes sense. Any guidance on how to access the control panel? And I know this is completely subjective, but is it a repair a reasonable adept person could make, or is a definite repairman repair? Oh, also any info on part numbers for the touchpad and controller so I might order online?
Well, from the schematic it looks like the control is on the front as opposed to the rear on top. In this case the control is easy to replace, but it's a tough one to access the control panel. This would require the top be removed and the front panel be taken off. Problem is a lot of wires will need to be disconnected, and then you would need to remember how to put everything back together. Not an easy thing to do if you are not used to doing this kind of repair.
I'm not used to it, but pretty technically adept, and I take a billion pictures with the camera for documentation on how to put it all back together. Any helpful hints on how to remove the top, then remove the font panel? Did you find any online info I could go to?
Okay, there are several was GE units come apart. In this case you will either have to open the door and take the screws out under the lower lip of the control panel, or you will have to pull it out from the wall partially, take the screws out at the side holding the cooktop in place, then lift the cooktop to access the control. Click here to view schematics of this model.
If you have a home improvement or appliance question and want to chat with an expert now, visit JustAnswer.com/YTHI.